In the wide grass and green lands of Okhari, the centaurs lived in peace. They were strong and beautiful people, their bodies built for speed and endurance. They loved the hunt, the race, and the thrill of open skies. Every year, when the middle of the sun season came, they gathered for the great race. Families traveled from every corner of the land to watch. Music filled the fields, laughter carried on the wind, and the kingdom came alive in celebration. But on that day, when the whole of Okhari was running toward the fields, Niraya turned away. Hunting gave her joy more than cheering for a winner. She carried her bow and entered the thick forest, the calls of birds guiding her deeper. She had not gone far when she heard it, thin, sharp, and trembling. It was a cry. She froze, listening. At first, she thought it was a trick of her mind. No creature she knew cried like that. But the sound came again, softer this time, yet desperate. Niraya followed the sound through the trees, her steps careful, her heart rising. She pushed aside a cluster of leaves and stopped. There, on the ground, wrapped in torn cloth, was a baby. Her breath caught. She had never seen such a thing. Its face was round, its body small, its legs short. 2 limbs, only 2. Not like the children of her people, strong-legged and swift from birth. This one looked fragile, unfinished. Still, it cried so bitterly that her chest tightened. Niraya knelt beside it. The baby's fist flailed weakly, its eyes squeezed shut. She hesitated. This was not one of her kind. It did not belong in Okhari. Yet she could not leave it to die. Carefully, she lifted the child, holding it close as if it might break. She looked around, making sure no one had followed. Then she carried the baby home, silent and swift. Inside her hut, she tried to quiet it. She offered roasted roots, mashed fruits, even honey water. Nothing worked. The child's cries only grew sharper, until at last she brought cow milk in a small bowl. The baby drank greedily, its crying fading into a soft hum. Soon it slept, its chest rising and falling in peace. Niraya sat watching, both amazed and troubled. She had long prayed for a child of her own. Years had passed, and her womb had remained empty. Was this chance or destiny? The door opened, and her husband, Omaru, entered, his face bright with excitement. He spoke of the race, of how his favorites had won, of the cheering crowds. But Niraya hushed him quickly. Lower your voice. I have something to show you. Curious, Omaru followed her to the room. When he saw the baby, his eyes widened and his mouth opened in shock. Before he could cry out, Niraya pressed her hand over his lips. Do not shout, she whispered. The neighbors must not hear. They argued in low voices. Omaru warned that the people of Okhari would never accept such a child. It was safer to abandon it. But Niraya refused. She saw in the baby what she had long yearned for a child of her own, even if it was different. Their whispers filled the room until a sudden knock froze them both. Omaru hurried to answer. It was his friend, asking when he would join the hunt. As they spoke at the door, a thin cry rose from inside. The visitor turned his head toward the sound. He knew the couple had no children. His eyes narrowed. He was suspicious. Omaru's friend was suspicious of the sound he heard, but Omaru dismissed him quickly. He only nodded slowly, gave his farewells, and left. Niraya and Omaru tried to hide the child, but babies do not keep secrets. Nomi's cries cut through the walls of their huts like arrows through grass. Neighbors grew suspicious. Then one night, when the wailing refused to stop, the truth was forced into the open. The people of Okhari gathered. They looked at the strange child, small and fragile, with only 2 legs. Some spat on the ground, others turned their faces away. Cast it out, they demanded. It is not of us, it is a curse among our kind. Niraya fell to her knees. She wept, holding the child close to her chest. She begged them to see not a curse, but a life. I have prayed for a child, and the spirits have answered. Do not take this gift from me. The crowd murmured. They remembered Niraya's long years without children. They remembered her kindness. And when Omaru stepped forward and placed his hand on Niraya's shoulder, their hearts softened. Let her keep the child, some said. What harm can a baby bring? So Nomi remained in Okhari. She grew, different yet strong. For many seasons, she moved on all fours, racing with the young ones of the kingdom. Her body was slow to change, but the day came when she rose to her 2 feet and did not fall. The people gasped, for they had never seen such a thing. Yet in time, they came to accept her strange form. Niraya taught her the bow and the ways of the hunt. Omaru taught her patience and strength. Nomi became swift, her aim sharp. She was no longer seen as a curse but as a daughter of Okhari. Still, questions remained. Where had she come from? Why had she been left in the forest to die? There were rumors of certain creatures who cast out their children, born on certain days they believe is cursed to the evil forest, believing the forest would swallow them. Nomi was one such child. Rejected by her own, yet chosen by fate. The answer came years later, when humans themselves appeared at the borders of Okhari. They came with fire and blades, their voices raised in anger. They called the land theirs and demanded the Centaurs leave. The people of Okhari had never faced such an enemy before. But they did not bow. Nomi stood with her parents at the front lines. For the first time, she saw faces shaped like her own. Their legs were like hers, their hands, their eyes. For a moment, her heart trembled. Was this where she belonged? But when the humans raised their weapons against Okhari, the choice became clear. She lifted her bow. These are not my people, she said. My home is here. My family is here. The battle was fierce. Hooves thundered across the plain. Arrows cut the sky, and voices cried out. The humans thought themselves mighty, but they had not known the strength of the Okhari. Nomi fought beside them, swift as a gazelle, unyielding as stone. Her arrows found their marks, and her courage gave others strength. By nightfall, the humans fled, their fire dying behind them. The kingdom of Okhari stood unbroken. The people cheered, raising their voices to the sky. That day, Nomi was no longer the child of whispers. She was Nomi of Okhari, daughter of Niraya and Omaru, hunter of the grasslands. She was proof that blood alone does not make family, and that what is cast away by some may be treasured by others.